All right, go ahead. Alright, here we are entering Indy. I don't know what to expect. Pull down in here in Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It says this is the entrance to the museum, Hall of Fame, racing capital of the world. I kind of feel guilty showing up to the Indianapolis Raceway in a Prius. Let's go check it out. Okay, this is a 1903 Premier Special. This is almost the way it came from the factory. Originally, it didn't have all these holes in it. See all these holes right here? See that? All along the frame, holes. All the motor mounts have holes drilled in them. And that's because Carl Fisher, when he ordered this car, he didn't read the rule book. And the engine, the whole car came in 300 pounds overweight to run in the race. So he tried to drill 300 pounds worth of steel out of this thing to lighten it up. That was a common thing to do to lighten cars back in the day, was to drill holes in them. He got 200 pounds out of it. But look at this. This thing looks like Swiss cheese. Look at that. All those holes in there. That is so awesome. Look at that valve train. He never did get to race this car because it was 100 pounds overweight. Look at the crank starter. You turn the crank, it goes into the crank knuckle right there. Then it goes through a 90-degree up, comes up here to another 90 and turns the camshaft, which is all exposed. And there's your magneto on the back end that runs the ignition system, all air-cooled. Man, I'd love to hear this thing run, but it's pretty exciting. And there's your safety seat, circa 1903. No 5-point harness there. Chain drive, wooden wheels, and there's your fuel tank. This is back when men were men on the racetrack, I'll tell you that for a fact. He even drilled holes in the pedals. Look at that. And in the different shifter bars, everything got holes drilled in it. Well, I made a mistake earlier when I was looking at this 1903 Premier Special. This is the start crank, and it goes back, and this first gear right here is the end of the crankshaft, and that is a timing gear that goes up here and runs the camshaft. Because if you look closely, there's your crankshaft. An exposed crank engine, exposed valve train. There's your exhaust system right there, all 1 inch of it. And over here is your high-tech device called a carburetor. Here's your throttle right here. Travels right up this rod, a little tiny U-joint, to a lever. That's your throttle right there. I believe the other one is your timing. Yes, that other rod right there, this rod right here, it comes down to a little U-joint, over here to a little belt crank, comes right up here to the magneto, and that's your timing. Those are your spark plug wires. It's this wire wrapped in cloth tape, and it goes down here, goes up, and it comes up to each spark plug. Those are compression releases. You could release the compression on the engine, get it spinning with the crank, and then close these one at a time, and it'll start firing. It took a real man to get this car running. Look at the size of those cans. I have no idea what the displacement is on this thing, Maybe I'll look it up and try to post it.